Okay, we're recording. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's Tuesday, May 2nd already. I cannot even believe I'm saying the word May 2nd. Cinco de Mayo is coming up, so I hope you go eat good Mexican food, fajitas and margaritas, or alcohol-free margaritas, if that's your wish, on May 5th. That's always fun. Okay, so tonight, wait, am I in the right spot? Yes, I am. So tonight we're covering habit 3, and we've been covering the 7 habits of highly effective people. And I have to tell you, these 7 habits actually work 100%. Like it has hit the nail on the head when I started doing this with my networking group, and it has really changed the approach in my business, if you allow it to, of course. I mean, we can feed our mind with all kinds of stuff, but it's up to us whether or not we choose to use it in our business. So we're going to be covering the habit 3, and this one is called put first things first. Jamie, do you want to read the little excerpt from it, from our sheet?
Okay, give me 1 second, I'll get there.
Okay.
Because I will. I'm getting there. All right. To live a more balanced existence, is that where I'm starting?
Yes.
Okay. To live a more balanced existence, you have to recognize that not doing everything that comes along is okay. There's no need to overextend yourself. All it takes is realizing that it's all right to say no when necessary and then focus on your highest priorities. Habit 1 says you're in charge, you're the creator. Being proactive is about choice. Habit 2 is the first, or mental creation. Beginning with the end in mind is about vision. Habit 3 is creation. This habit is where habits 1 and 2 come together. It happens day in, day out, moment by moment. It deals with many of the questions addressed in the field of time management, but that's not all it's about. Habit 3 is about life management as well. Your purpose, values, roles, and priorities. What are first things? First things are those things you personally find of most worth. If you put first things first, you're organizing and managing time and events according to the personal priorities you established habit 2.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to just recap really fast. Habit 1, let me mute everybody real quick so we don't get some background noise. Okay. So habit 1, be proactive, says you're the driver, not the passenger of your life. Habit 2 was begin with the end in mind, which says decide where you want to go and how you'll get there. So now for habit 3, this is going to be vision. Habit 3, put things first, says get there. Don't let roadblocks knock you off your course. So this is a habit of willpower. How many of you have terrible willpower? By a show of hands, who would say you have terrible willpower? Okay, see, a lot of us, right? It's also the habit of won't power, okay? The strength to say no to less important things and peer pressure. So it's the habit of willpower and the habit of won't power, okay? I love that. So it's made up of 2 parts. Learning to prioritize and manage your time, and learning to overcome fear and peer pressure. Sometimes peer pressure is good though. Little challenge or something. So part 1, what we're going to talk about is time management. You guys have heard us talking about time management plenty of times before, and you know how important time management is. So let's take a moment and let's look at important versus urgent. Okay? So important, your first things, activities that contribute to your mission and your goals, your most important things. So what would be examples of important things? These are your first things or activities that contribute to your mission and your goals. What would anybody want to give some of those? Unmute yourself and share some of your important things.
One of my important things is to follow up with customers for my business and make sure that they're happy.
Follow up. That's very important to your business.
I was going to say customer service is pretty important to me, so, which goes hand in hand with what she's talking about. I want my customers happy because the huge part of my business is those customers a lot of times coming back to me before I even have the opportunity. So,
right. That's
yeah,
good.
I was going to go with customer follow-up, customer care. Obviously, that's obviously a priority for all of us.
yeah.
Yep. And I would say one of mine would be recruiting conversations. That's something that I know is important, but I put off and I don't do them on a regular basis like I should. And I know I need to. So and those are important versus urgent. Let's take a look at the urgent. Urgent things are those pressing things, in your face things, activities that demand immediate attention. Anybody have ideas of urgent things, like pressing things, like in your face, that require immediate attention at times? Because when we focus on urgent things, the important things get pushed aside.
Well,
Go
sorry.
ahead. No,
I don't
go
know
ahead.
if this is what you're talking about. Am I echoing?
No.
Okay. I know that, like, I love customer service, and so I always put it up here. And Heather, I'm pretty sure you heard my husband have that conversation with me. Like, it is important, but is it helping you with your end goal, which was promoting more leaders? And so I was avoiding the urgency of spending that time promoting and working leadership. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but that's
No, I think that's a great example, because in our minds, customer service is a big one. But we're putting that as urgent when in reality, the important thing that we should be doing is probably having recruiting conversations, because that really is the importance of growing. So you can see the difference on how we're putting them into categories in our brain automatically. And that doesn't make us wrong. It's just our human nature and we enjoy doing it. So you find yourself doing more of your business of what you enjoy doing. Like, if you love making the foo-foo little notes and sending fun things, you're going to find yourself spending a lot of time doing that.
And also, we tend to stick with the comfortable things, like what you're saying, the things that are fun. You know, I'm going to do this because I'm in control of this. I'm not in control of how that recruiting conversation will go. It's scary, so I'm going to stick with the customer service.
That's so true. It's so true. We like to stay in our little comfort zone for sure. So there's 4 time quadrants, and y'all can write these down. You can make a box. Just kind of make a box here like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And y'all can duplicate this. So above box 1, you can write urgent and not urgent over box 2. And then off to the side, important, not important. So this was pretty interesting to look at, because in box 1, it says the procrastinator. In box 2, the prioritizer. In box 3, the yes man. And in box 4 was the slacker. So urgent is above 1 and 3. Not urgent is above 2 and 4. And then off to the side, you've got important across from 1 and 2, and not important from 3 and 4. Okay? We're going to dive into these different quadrants and let you see where your time is falling. So in quadrant 1, the procrastinator. The motto for quadrant 1, the procrastinator, is I'm going to stop procrastinating sometime soon. There will always be the quadrant 1 things that we can't control. Last minute meeting, illness. By putting things off, people become a stress case. Spending too much of your time here causes stress and anxiety, burnout, and mediocre performance. So I've got a halls in my mouth and it's not helping. Quadrant 2, the prioritizer. Their motto, first things first. The quadrant of excellence. This person plans ahead for doing first things first. As I'm saying these, I want you to kind of think of what quadrant you fall into, okay? The prioritizer has the simple but powerful habit of planning ahead. They do their homework on time, makes time to exercise, and make sure the people that matter most in her life or his life, like family and friends, come first. He or she learned to say no with a smile. Results of spending time here are control of your life, balance, high performance. Quadrant 3, the yes man. The motto for the yes man. Tomorrow I'm going to be more assertive, if that's okay with you. People who spend a lot of time in this quadrant attend to matters that are urgent and may seem important, but are not. For example, a ringing phone. This quadrant is also full of things that are important to other people, but are not important to you. Results of spending too much time here in quadrant 3, being a people pleaser, lack of discipline, feeling like a doormat for others to wipe their feet on. Quadrant 4, the slacker. Their motto is, let's just hang out. The slacker is a professional loafer. He or she loves anything in excess, like too much TV, too much sleep, too much time on the phone or the web. This is the category of waste and excess. There is nothing here that is urgent or important. What appears to be relaxation turns into wasted time. The results of quadrant 4 are lack of responsibility, guilt, and flakiness. So, who does or doesn't do what? Give examples of the activities of each type of time manager. So we've got quadrant 1, the procrastinator. So examples for this that they gave would be, I have an exam tomorrow, a friend gets injured, late for school or work, a project due today. Quadrant 2, the prioritizer, I'm planning and goal setting. An essay is due in a week. I need to exercise, my relationships, and relaxation, scheduling time for those. The yes man, unimportant phone calls, interruptions, other people's problems, and peer pressure. Quadrant 4, too much TV, endless phone calls, too much tech time, mall marathons, and time wasters. And you can see where the quadrants were back. That's why they had urgent and not urgent, important and not important next to those quadrants. Okay? So where do you spend most of your time? I want you to do a little self-assessment and see which quadrant do you fall into. Anybody want to share?
Well, my daughter's listening and she's finding this interesting that she's a procrastinator. Never would have guessed.
The next level.
I feel like I'm a little bit of a yes man.
Anybody else?
It's kind of hard. I feel like I fall into a couple of categories.
You can.
I feel like I'm definitely a yes man, even though after listening to the prioritizers characteristics, I really want to try to do that.
Okay, so you know where you are and where you want to be. That's good.
Right.
Good, Kelsey. That's awesome. Anybody else, you guys? I think I could be a little bit of each. Is that bad?
Oh, I think that's normal. I think we see, I would think.
I mean, I go through
Here's
phases.
what I could see. When you were reading them off, I was literally thinking of people. Like when you said the prioritizer, I thought of like 3 people instantly. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
she's a prioritizer.
Yeah.
And especially the part where you said, and I think it was the prioritizer, that she could say no with a smile. Like it's okay to say no. And I was just talking about
That
her.
was.
I'm like, I am so not good at no. Like I can say no, but then I follow it with an apology or something. You know, I can't be
Right.
confident in my no.
Right. So, Kelsey, was it you that said you would love to be more like quadrant 2?
Oh, yeah.
So how do we increase time in quadrant 2? I think a lot of us may be feeling, I want to be more like quadrant 2, okay? So I'm going to tell you how you can increase your time in this quadrant. So we are going to shrink quadrant 1, which is our procrastinator, by procrastinating less. And we're going to cut in half by starting on things earlier in the day. So maybe it's you set your alarm clock an extra hour earlier or 30 minutes earlier and start things earlier in the day. Say no to anything that comes in quadrant 3. That's going to be a tough one to do, but pay attention to what's coming and what proposes in front of you for quadrant 3 and say no. So you have to learn to say no to unimportant things. And number 4, we're going to cut down on those. In quadrant 4, the slacker activities, don't stop doing them, the excess TV, but just do them less often, okay? If you're gonna surf the web, set a timer for 15 minutes instead of 30 minutes so you don't get lost in surfing the internet and you're on a time limit instead. When the timer goes off, be done with it and move on. So we're gonna plan weekly. We're gonna take 15 minutes each week to plan your week. Be intentional. So maybe if you're on Sunday evening when you're sitting down, pull out your calendar, make the list of things that you need to do, and just take 15 minutes to write out and plan your week. And I'm very much, I just did this earlier, and I could probably go get it off of the countertop. Maybe I can holler at Jason to go get it. But I literally have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday written out on a piece of printer paper from my printer, and I literally wrote down everything I needed to do. There's everything I needed to do today but one thing on my list that I got done. And I have specific things that have to get done every day this week because I planned out my week. It makes you very effective with your time. So step number 1, list the most important things that you need to do this week. And limit the number to no more than 10. No more than 10 things. These are the big rocks, and connect to your vision and a mission with those. Those are your big rocks that we have to accomplish, okay? And look at each role that you fulfill. You know, is it a student in this one? Is it a friend? Is it a family member? Are you an employee in this situation? An individual or a peer? So look at each role that you will fulfill in all 10 of those things. That's very important. A lot of times we don't take a step back and look at that. So on our weekly plan, your step 2 is going to block out time for your big rocks in your agenda or on your calendar. By seeing the important things listed, you can then plan when you will do them. So, like, for example, Tuesday is a no-brainer. One of your top 10 things is training during the week. You should be doing some sort of training in your business every single week. That's why you guys are on here. That would be one of my big rocks. Because the moment you stop feeding your soul and your excitement and your charisma, it's hard to get attached to something when you're relying only on yourself to get you pulled back up and off the ground and start moving again. So it's very important to stay tuned in and attached to something that's going to keep you motivated. So by seeing the important things listed, you can then plan when you're going to do them. Maybe it's some volunteer work that you want to do during the week. Like one of my top 10s would be I mentor on every Friday because I wanted to be very efficient and give back this year. And so I volunteer 30 minutes every Friday, and that would be one of my big rocks as well. And that's something personal, and it would be my role would be a friend, to this. So just kind of make a list of your things. Step 3, schedule everything else. So fill in day with the little to-dos, like daily tasks, chores, or appointments. So with your big rocks, no more than 10 that we had talked about, I want you to turn this into a journal/activity. What are your first things? What are your most important big rocks that you need to accomplish? And think about what keeps you from putting these things first in your life. That's going to be a pretty hard pill to swallow for some, I think, because it could be a spouse that's not supportive of your business at all, that's holding you back, griping, like, you spend too much time doing that Scentsy stuff. It could be that you feel guilty for not being with your kids when you could be doing something else. And maybe we can just rearrange your schedule and have better time management where you're not pulling away from the family. So what keeps you from putting these things first in your life? Maybe it's like one of the things that I need to do, put things first, is to lose weight. I need to start eating better and walk. And, one of the reasons why I'm not doing it is I just don't freaking want to. I'm just not ready. And eventually I'll get to it. I mean, it's kind of motivated me a little bit, and my husband's on this health kick, but it hasn't really helped when I have Easter peanut butter bunnies in my nightstand and I'm eating them. I'm just not ready, and that's okay. I'll get there. When I want it bad enough, I will attack it. So here's where it comes into another part of our habit 3 is overcoming fear. And, we have our little comfort zone is our inner circle. And then outside of our comfort zone, we have a bigger circle around it. And you can shade that all in blue is this diagram. The courage zone is outside of our comfort zone. It's a huge ring around it. And in our courage zone is where you're going to find the following: risk, hard moments, things I'm afraid of, bravery, things I've never tried before, difficulty, and ultimate potential. So I'm going to show you this here so you can see the comfort zone and the courage zone. So outside of that comfort zone is where we are going to find difficult things. When you face your fears, number 1, some things I am comfortable doing are, list them out. Write them out on a piece of paper, things that you are comfortable doing. I think that's really important when you're acknowledging and realizing what you're afraid of, is to give yourself the credit first and write down those things that you are comfortable doing. We're so quick to point out the things that we are afraid to do, or we can't do, or we're not willing to do, I should say. But go ahead and give yourself credit for the things that you are comfortable doing. And write those down on a piece of paper. Number 2 that I want you to answer, Some things that are easy for me, but may seem hard or scary for others are what? Some things that are easy for me, but may seem hard or scary for others are. So what is something that comes so easy to you and others are like, holy crap, I can't do that. So once again, you're having to acknowledge something you're good at doing that others may not be. Number 3, here comes the one we're going to admit, okay? I am afraid of. You're going to answer that question. I am afraid of. A lot of yours will probably be rejection, not being accepted. How many of y'all feel that way? A lot, right? Like that's so normal for every single one of us on here. Nobody likes to be rejected. Everybody wants to be a part of something. So write down what you're afraid of. Number 4. This is a good one. Things that require courage for me to do are. Things that require courage for me to do are. What are some things that requires you to have courage? Maybe it's walking up to somebody in the grocery store and giving them a compliment. Maybe that takes a lot of courage for you to do it. So write down those things that require courage for you to do. Number 5, I want you to answer this question. The worst thing that could happen if I face my fear is what?
You know, Heather, I've probably given this example before, but I can remember one time when Denny, my husband, was trying to give me counsel and just pick up the phone and call. You know, all you got to do is just ask. He's like, what's the worst? They can say no. And I'm like, yeah. He said, are they breaking up with you as a friend? Are they telling you they don't ever want Cincy? They're just saying, I don't want to host a party or whatever. So I think we are predicting the worst when it's really not the worst.
It's the truth. I mean, how many of y'all have kids that drive? Anybody have kids that drive? Do you remember the first time that they drove in the car by themselves? What was our biggest fear when they started driving by themselves? They were going to get in an accident. Mine was, he's going to die immediately. That's the first thing I think. Anytime it's someone close, like in my family, I think of death. It's like the ultimate thing. And when I think about me personally, when I don't want to go talk to someone in the beginning and I was very shy to say something, I would sometimes ask myself, Heather, it's not like you're going to die. Like, you're treating it as in, it was September 29th, 1991, all over again when I lost my brother. Like, I lost someone close to me that died. And I was treating walking up to a stranger, putting it in the same caliber as my brother's death. You can't really compare those two. Yes, it was awful. Horrible things in my mind I was telling myself. The self-talk in my head was telling me, talking me out of it. The worst thing that's going to happen is, like Jamie said, someone may say no. No doesn't mean no forever. It just means not right now. But we in that mindset think death, horrible things. Oh my God, what is going to happen if I do this? If I face my fear right now, what is going to happen? So I want you to write down, honestly, what is the worst thing that would happen to you? Truthfully, what is the worst thing that would happen to you if you were to face your fear tomorrow? Now, here's the best part of the next question. The best thing that could happen if I face my fear is, I want you to imagine how it would feel to be free of that feeling of fear and the accomplishment. Picture that in your head of what that would feel like in your head. I mean, it gives me goosebumps when you truly put yourself in that position and you're thinking of how would this feel? What would be the best thing that could come out of this if I was to face my fear? And the last question that I want you to answer, one thing that is outside my comfort zone that I'm going to act on today is what? What is the one thing outside your comfort zone that you're going to act on today? We still have a little bit of daylight where I'm at. What are you going to act on?
I'm going to message some people that I haven't messaged in a while about hosting a basket party because I have nothing lined up for this month. And
I love the fact that you asked about hosting, Jamie, instead of asking them to buy.
Oh yeah, host. I need them to host a basket.
You need the 300-400 PRV, not a 6-pack of bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I'm scared because I did a lot of asking last month, and I don't want people to say, "Didn't you just ask me?" But I didn't ask them to host last month.
That's all right. You asked them to buy. Who else? Who else wants to share the one thing that you're going to do outside of your comfort zone that you're going to act on today? Go ahead, Annalise. Let's unmute you and you tell me. Go ahead.
What was the question again?
What's the one thing you're going to do outside of your comfort zone that you're going to act on today?
Okay, I think since I'm moving to Nacogdoches, to a completely different town, I've already made some contacts there, but I haven't talked about Scentsy, and I'm gonna let them know I sell Scentsy and ask them if they'd like a sample.
Okay, good.
Or if
that's
they
great.
have a Scentsy lady, I don't know, something. I'll start a conversation.
Just starting a conversation with them. That's great. That's good.
That gives me anxiety.
That's all right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Annalise. That's a big one. A lot of people have that. Who else? Anybody else want to share theirs?
I'm going to actually contact some people that have said to me, "Oh yeah, I want to host a party, but I don't know what's good for me." And in the past, I've just kind of let it be like, "Oh, okay, well, just let me know." I think I'm going to contact them and be like, "Well, these days work for me. Which ones work better for you?" That way I don't really give them the option to kind of push me away.
Awesome. That's a great idea, Kelsey.
That is great. I'm writing that down. That's a great tip.
Anybody else? Let's get 2 more people to share. I'm going to start picking on people if we don't get volunteers. And I'm looking at Emily. Okay, Emily, what is it?
I just moved here in the fall, and I started selling Scentsy in February, and a lot of my customer base is mostly people from back home in New Hampshire and people at work, but the girls at work are like all very hesitant to do it. So I think I'm just gonna bring some samples and start like in the classrooms with them. Be like, do you wanna try this out? Because they can't escape from me.
Exactly. That's smart. That's so good. I love that. That's a great idea, Emily.
Thanks.
And the sooner you do it, the easier it's gonna be over. You'll be over it and it's done, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily. Who else? I need one more person to share. I'm gonna start picking people.
Pam, where are you? You should say something.
Pam, you were called out, so go. Emily called you out. Where is Pam?
If she's still here or not.
Where'd she go? Oh, she's gone.
She was here, but there's an 8-4. Nope, that's not it. That's not her number.
Okay.
I think she's gone.
Jody, you want to pick someone? Debbie, what's yours? I'm going to call you out.
Yeah, we have 2 Debbies, so which one you want to go with? I'm going to go with Virgie. Debbie Parker. Come on, Mama.
I don't know. Not going anywhere. Probably just trying to reach out to some of my past customers from New York. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that out of your comfort zone though to call past customers?
Yeah, because I don't usually bother people. If I do a party of my own, especially being out here,
So Debbie, I'm going to take that a step further, and
I
I'm going to
invite
ask
people,
you
but
when you call.
I'm outside.
Oh, that's okay.
The train's going by.
Hey, he's tooting what I'm about to tell you. He's excited because when you call your customers from New York, I want you to ask them if they have 3 referrals.
3 referrals.
Uh-huh. That's really out of your comfort zone, huh?
Well, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But my thing is I want to get out here. You know what I mean? I'm not having a whole lot of luck with my New York customers and hostesses. So I'm sure I'll call her back. But anyways, sorry about that.
That's okay.
I don't have luck with my New York customers anymore. Nobody wants to pay shipping. I've offered to send testers, like the mini testers for like the basket party, and explain to them that, if they have a party, they can still get free shipping. Everything would just be shipped to them.
Right.
And I offered to send them all the stuff, my labels and everything. I know that's whatever. And I've even offered to, give them something for doing that part of my job, like whether it's some bars or what, and I'm not getting anywhere. So I'm.
It can be very difficult when you move, but I would definitely focus and be very intentional on where you're going in your new place and really try to meet as many new people as you possibly can.
Yeah, I try. I don't get out much because I don't have a car, so.
Well, even just walking around, exercising, meeting the neighbors.
I was going to ask a question about that. Like, I know you can't hang stuff on people's mailboxes.
No.
Can you do it? Put it on their doorknobs or whatever. Like, hey, I'm new to the neighborhood type thing. Like with just that little.
When everybody puts stuff on my door, I throw it in the trash.
You really?
But if you're out walking and about and you see people and you strike up a conversation saying, hey, I'm Debbie, I just moved here, I'm new. I was trying to find a place that I could get involved in the neighborhood with some activities. I'm limited, I don't have a car right now, but just be very honest and just strike up conversation. They will be more willing to do something and listen to you than a piece of paper on the door.
Right. That sounds like a plan.
Annalise is waving her hand. Hold on, she's got something to tell you. Go ahead, Annalise.
So, I actually have something to share. So last week, because I spent all weekend in Nacogdoches where our new house is, and so I was like, the week before I wasn't prepared, and so this weekend I was like, okay, I'm going to be prepared. So I made like 100 samples, and I got these large-sized jewelry bags. Hold on, I gotta catch my breath. I just ran back to go get my purse. Okay, so I put a sample in it, a product sheet, those are super cheap, and my business card. And then I also put a label, and this is what I wrote. I put, hey there, I'm new here, and I would love to be your Scentsy consultant. Please enjoy this free sample, and if you'd like to see a catalog or smell some other fragrances, please let me know. Call or text with my phone number. And I handed these out, and people, because it's a college town, and they had no idea what Scentsy was, which kind of blew my mind because it's Texas. But anyways, that's what I'm doing.
That's awesome.
I'm kind of in the same boat. So, anyways, I just wanted to share because I was excited that I actually was productive.
No, I'm glad. That's good. You're being intentional with your time, and that's exactly what it is. You have to be in conversations, engaging people, and handing something out. It's not just going to knock on your door and show up and be like, I'm here to place an order. I saw a decal on your driveway, on your car. So hopefully that helps, Debbie.
What's that?
Hopefully that helps you.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks, Annalise, for sharing that.
Yeah.
Because I go walking every morning with my sister-in-law. We go walking in the park here. We walk 3 miles a day, so we don't really run into a whole lot of people, but it's getting a little busier now that school's getting close
The
to
school's
getting
getting
out.
out.
So,
Yeah.
so
Girl,
we go
get you a
work
fanny
out.
pack and get it lock and loaded.
Well, I don't want to carry samples around, though. That probably wouldn't be a good thing. They'd probably be melted.
Hey, get the rub and smell stickers on a piece of product list and
Yeah.
put it in a fanny pack, girl. I'd be walking around spraying myself with room spray going, oh, I smell like crap when I'm walking, but at least I smell like black raspberry vanilla.
Well, and you can do felt samples. You can do felt. I made a ton of felt samples this weekend too, and I don't know what I did. I think they're in Nacogdoches because I was making them to do mail outs. But you could do felt samples, and I mean, if
All
it melts,
kinds.
and put them in something like I keep my buddy clip containers, and I put them in here so they don't get all janky. Like don't get all, I
Good
like
idea.
That's awesome.
How can you be now?
Always have stuff on you. Always, always. Okay, so I'm going to teach you one more thing, guys. I'm going to do the final thoughts for the habit 3. How many people on their deathbed wish they'd spent more time at the office? That's pretty good. And the final thought, it's easy to say no when there's a deeper yes burning inside. So here is what I want you to, what I have done, and I'm doing mine with change. I put testers in here temporarily because I don't have my loose change, but I want you to go get 4 solo cups. You're going to do this for the entire month of May and maybe June. I'm going to do it for 2 months because I don't think 1 month is good at tracking anything. I think it needs to track for at least 60 days to get some results. And what I did is I wrote the word join on 1 cup. I wrote the word buy on another cup. I wrote the word host on my 3rd cup. So buy, host, join. My 4th cup says training. Now, this is not, I'm not counting this when it is a generic Facebook post to all on my wall asking someone to buy, host, or join. The only way a coin is going in this cup is if I ask them one-on-one, from my mouth to their ears. And it has to be a direct conversation. So I am being very intentional with my cups. Like I dropped a tester because I'm waiting to get my change bag. But I'm just going to drop a penny or a quarter and watch it build. So like I asked, I did an event and I asked 3 people, had 3 recruiting conversations with 3 people on the event that I just did and that were serious about it. So I'm trying to see where my time is going. I know for a fact my buy cup is going to be very full because that's what I always focus on. You see which cup is empty right now. Host. This is a great visual for me to see, okay, you need to pick up the phone and start calling, asking people to host. You see where your time is being spent. Whether you're spending time on getting people to buy, getting people to host, or getting people to join. And the 4th cup, of course, training, which I think is very and vital in your business. Do some sort of training in your business, drop a coin in. So this is the system that I'm doing and keeping track of, are my 4 cups and just being very intentional of seeing where my time is going and my time management, because it will then help me shift my focus mid-month probably to either getting my next month stacked and ready to go early on. It'll make me more and guide me in the direction that I need to go and hold me accountable when no one else will except for myself. I'm only accountable for my actions. And I'm hoping something visual like this will help me stay on track and be intentional with the buy, host, join. I want to focus less on buy and focus more on host and more on join. And then you can never get enough training. So Jody, Jamie, finish up. Anything y'all want to add?
I really really, really had not studied all this information like Heather had. And so I took lots of notes. It really, I appreciate Heather taking the reins and doing this, because I've took lots of notes, because this really resonated with me, my time management, how I see myself, my strengths and weaknesses. So, I mean, like literally, I was like writing, and I was getting my messages ready to send to my people and telling them certain times. So I don't really have any other things to add other than I really soaked this knowledge up. I hope y'all take this knowledge and put it to use.
Hang on. I'm typing up something to share on the pages. I have to ditto what Miss JP just said, because, you know, we've been working on this, but when Heather showed us earlier some of the PowerPoint that she had for this, it confused me a lot. And I said, I'm not comfortable talking about this as much because I don't feel confident in, you know, understanding how all of it worked. So again, thank you, Heather, for taking the reins on this one. I'm going to go back and re-listen to some of that because it's very interesting to me, which goes hand in hand with your 4 containers, your 4 cups, which I just think is a genius idea. No matter how long we've been in this business or direct sales or anything like that, training is always important. If the moment you tell yourself that you know enough or that you don't need training or that it's a waste of your time is the moment that you stop growing your business. We've all been in this for quite a long time, and I've heard this theory before. I've looked at this system before, but the way that Heather explains things a lot of times to me, I just understand it better. So, you know, whether you're training yourself on a Zoom call like this, whether it's taking a training through the home office on your workstation, or whether it's reading a book or an article that has to do with direct sales, customer service, personal growth, all of that stuff, when you start to compile it all together, it molds you into a better person and a better representative, better consultant, better everything. So just keep on training yourselves, guys, no matter where you're getting it from. Just make sure it's good training. Thanks, Heather. Yes, Cody, those are yours.
Yeah, you're welcome, Jody. And one of the things that I love, the training that I watched, if you don't follow him, Bob Heilig, is a morning training that I do every morning. It is what I start my day off with, first thing when I wake up, and it gets you moving. If there is one thing I can tell you to do is start your morning off and get in a routine with somebody like him every morning. It will change your business day completely. It makes you more productive. You get things done. You cross things off that list, and you will do your big rocks and get them done. And then move on, to the next 10 big rocks that Bob Heilig. It's Bob, Heilig. Follow him on Facebook. If you have Periscope on your phone, you can follow him, and every morning at 8 o'clock, my phone will whistle, and he's going live on Periscope and Facebook at the same time, Monday through Friday. He's so, so, so good. Anybody else? Questions, comments, guys? If y'all want to unmute yourself, go right ahead. We've got about 10 minutes for questions and comments.
Annalise, can you type up what you said on your tag for us and maybe put it in Jamie's group, and then we can all kind of grab it from there and share with our teams? Annalise. She might be frozen.
I'll message her.
All right. And Heather, while you were talking, I went ahead and found some Google images that corresponded to what you were saying, and I posted those in the groups too, so that people could go back and look at those visuals.
Yeah, that's great.
But somebody wanted to know what number 1 was, and I couldn't remember what it was.
Quadrant 1?
I can't. Emily, it was Emily. Can you tell her?
No, it was the first, in the series of questions. My computer froze when you said what it was. It was after the quadrants when we started talking about the questions.
On the face your fears, number 1, some things I am comfortable doing are.
Okay.
Number 1 is some things I am comfortable doing are. Number 2, some things that are easy for me but may seem hard or scary for others are. Number 3, I am afraid of. Number 4, things that require courage for me to do are. 5, the worst things that could happen if I face my fear is. Number 6, the best thing that could happen if I face my fear is. And number 7, the one thing that is outside my comfort zone that I am going to act on today is.
So while I'm unmuted, I have a little confession.
Okay.
Last month, my husband and I went on a trip to Germany, and I spent I had a really good month, April, and then the end of the month I completely fell off the wagon. I was going crazy getting ready for this trip, and it was the same with the first week, or not April. I had a good month before that. And then so I did not do anything while I was in Germany. I did nothing. And I haven't done any training or anything like that. And I hadn't gotten back on any training calls because I felt guilty. And so I just wanted to say that being back on this call has been great, and I feel so much better about getting on track and stuff. But I felt so guilty and nervous about getting back on a training call because I've been gone so long.
I'll highlight here today.
Yeah, do not feel guilty. It's okay. Listen, we all go through that. We all go through our ups and downs. We all get tired. We all get burnt out. There is not one person in this business that does not get like that.
Jody, what were you asking Annalise? Is she?
Is she paying attention now?
Yes.
I'm just kidding, Annalise. When you read us the tag for your samples, would you mind typing that up and put it in in Jamie's group, and then we can snag it and share with our teams?
You're muted, Anna, so we can't hear if you're telling us something.
God, I love you. I miss you. I need to hug you soon. There you go, baby.
No, I don't mind at all. At all. I will type it up and I can post it here in just a moment.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank
Sugar.
you. Guys, my kids are in the car waiting on me to take them to dinner.
Go ahead, Jamie. You're right. You're fine.
Thanks, y'all. Thank you so much, Heather. I really enjoyed this. And Jody, thanks for putting the pictures up. This is great. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye, JP.
babe.
Have a good night.
Bye.
All right. Anybody else, guys? We got about 6 more minutes.
Oh, reminder that we're not having a call next week.
Yeah. Next week we will not have a call, and it will resume. See, Emily, right when you get back, we're changing things, and next week no call. However,
God, you guys.
Well, you can go
I
back and
know.
listen to the old ones, I guess.
So yeah,
I did on YouTube, and I listened to them.
You did.
I just didn't want to be on them.
That's all right. You know what y'all could do next week is pick a training on the workstation, one that you haven't done yet. Or maybe when you answer that question of what's the fear that you're going to face, see if you can find a training on the workstation that corresponds with what your fear is and what you're scared of doing. Find a training on the workstation that matches that fear and do that one next week for sure.
Okay.
That way we're kind of getting you in the right direction. Anybody else? We have about 5 minutes. No one?
I guess we might be good for the night.
Yeah, y'all are quiet tonight. What the heck? I don't think I like it.
I like it a lot.
All right. So no call next week. We will pick back up on May 16th. It's when we will be back in full swing, I think. Hold on a minute. Let me make sure. Well, you know what? I'll just have to look in a minute. My calendar's in the other room because we're doing that lead to lead program. And I know we have a couple of calls coming up. Hopefully they do not interfere with our Tuesday night calls. Oh, I've got it right here. Let me look.
I thought the 16th was a Sunday, but I could be wrong.
Oh, wait, maybe I don't have it right here.
I'm trying to find my calendar.
It's not. It was the 20th of December.
No, I think we're good. Oh.
No, you're right. It is.
So the 23rd, I might not be on. I don't know. I'll see what time it is. I think we might do it at 8 o'clock. I think we're okay. I'll figure out my time schedule, but I've got my days of where we are doing our leap to lead stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll make it work.
All right, sure.
We'll figure it out. And then before we hang up, I'm gonna show you one thing just to get your brains going. And we showed it 2 nights ago on a call, I believe, and we weren't recording on purpose. So who is the newest consultant on here? Who is the newest consultant? Who has joined the most
I
recent?
just joined in February.
All right, Kelsey, you're my girl then. You ready?
Okay.
So
Maybe I should have spoke up.
Kelsey, have you made your list of 100 in your consultant startup guide?
Yes. Well, not in the guide, but I have a list.
And can you hold it up so I can see it?
I don't know where it is.
Oh.
I invited everybody on it to my party, and I think my kids might have taken it.
Was it like this? Did you do it just like this under like neighbors, acquaintances? Or did you just list 100 people?
I just listed 100 people, and then like I put over to the side like who they were. Yeah,
Okay.
like coworker or like my husband's aunt or however it went.
All right. So why don't you go ahead and give me the first person that you named on there?
My mom.
What's her name?
Shannon.
So Shannon. Tell me all about Shannon.
Hold on.
Is she married? Does she work?
She's not married any longer, but she has a boyfriend named Jim.
Okay. What does Jim do? What does Jim do for work?
Jim is retired right now, I think. I don't know a whole lot about him. He has a newer relationship.
Okay.
I do know he has family from Tennessee.
Okay.
But I haven't met them yet.
Okay.
My mom works at a nursing home.
Okay.
She does hair there.
Okay.
She is a part of a motorcycle club.
Okay.
And those members I've actually already had some parties for.
Okay.
And I don't really know.
Does Shannon have any sisters or brothers?
Yes. I have an aunt named Lisa. And then my grandma, of course, her mom's name is Carolyn. Sorry, my kids are getting
Does Aunt Lisa work?
Aunt Lisa works. She is a manager at a loan company, and she has about 4 employees under her.
Okay.
And then Lisa has 2 daughters, Jacqueline and Mackenzie.
Wait, Lisa's the loan company manager?
Yes.
And then she has 2 daughters?
Uh-huh.
Lindsay
Jacqueline and
who?
Mackenzie.
Oh, Mackenzie.
Uh-huh.
Mackenzie and Jacqueline. Okay.
Jacqueline is currently enrolled in the university here in town.
Okay. And Mackenzie, what's she do?
She is a senior in high school.
And then Carolyn, does she work?
She is retired, but she does go to church every Sunday and Wednesday.
Church goer, play bingo, bunco. Does she have any extracurriculars?
She actually doesn't. She bakes, but that's it.
Does she have a baking club or friends that bake with her?
No, she does it with my nephew, actually.
Oh, nephew loves to bake as well. Cute. Okay. Who else? Any other people in your family? That's Aunt Lisa, Jim, Carolyn. That's linked to Shannon.
My brothers. I have brothers.
Okay. What's their names?
Giancarlo and Wade.
What's Giancarlo do?
He is a plumbing manager at our local Menards.
Is he married?
He's not. He is dating a girl named Gabby.
Cute. Okay. And then Wade what's he do?
He is actually working for a farmer. Get out of the dog food. Sorry, here in town.
Okay. Girlfriend, married?
He has a girlfriend named Sierra, and they just had a little baby boy in December. And Sierra does not work at the moment. She's still taking care of the baby.
Aw, sweet. And then who else is tied with them? Anybody else that you know of?
Not that I can think of.
So I'm just going to show you this really quick on how one named Shannon just branched out to a whole lot of names.
Okay.
Most people would have stopped at that name Shannon on the list.
Right.
So here, when we look at Carolyn, we now know that she has a circle of people at her church. We now know the nephew is involved. That's another person. That she is retired, so she probably has contacts with somebody that she was retired with. Aunt Lisa is a manager at a loan company with 4 employees, so there's 5 people right there. Jim has family in Tennessee. I mean, you just see how one thing, and it branches out this way. This is a great way to do your list of 100.
Well, and what's funny is I don't remember if I was on a Zoom call with you and you showed us that, or if it was our Lead to Lead with Annalise and she showed us. But I actually did that while I was making my list. And because at first I was like, I told Stacy, she's my sponsor, I was like, I don't even know 100 people.
That's
and
right.
she's like, yes, you do. You just have to, it just has to go,
You have to break it down like this.
Right.
Yep. So for those of you that are on, you saw exactly what we were doing, is just thinking who's involved, where do they work, who are they married to. You just try to break it down that way to where this one name just turned into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different things from one name. You very easily could change that list of 100 into 500 people very quickly. So I just wanted to show that to you guys while we were still on the line and recording, because we didn't have that recorded the last call we were doing. Anybody else, questions or comments? JoJo, anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. Oh, now we went over 3 minutes. Let's see what happens. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for getting on. We will see you again in 2 weeks, and we will be back here with habit number 4, which is think win-win. That one's going to be a good one. All right, guys. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.